usher.
Welcome back to You Know What It Is podcast. It's your boy. And today on the show, got some special guests. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
My name is Melisha Shomo, and I am the founder of Transitioning Boys into Men and also Las Vegas NSB Junior, or National Society of Black Engineers Junior, here in Las Vegas. Yep.
My name is Sean Holtwich. I am a fundraising expert. I also volunteer with Transitioning Boys into Men, her organization. But essentially, I raise money for youth programs and nonprofits to better impact the community. Yeah.
What's up? How did you guys actually, get started in the program? How did you guys actually meet for him to help fundraise the program that you're doing?
Should I say it or you?
Go ahead. Yeah.
So a while ago, I was shopping for cars, and so a Mercedes was one of them. And so he helped me to be able to get a tax exempt sale, so I wouldn't have to pay so much taxes on it. So that was the last time I seen him, and then I was just trying to get my car serviced, and so I was calling around, and he was one of the service people that was in my phone. So I called him up and I was like, hey, and then he's like, hey, and I was like, oh yeah, you're the guy who helped me, save some money with my car. And so he said that he wasn't at Mercedes anymore. So I was like, well, what are you doing now? And he was like, I help fundraise for nonprofits. And I'm like, I need you.
Perfect alignment right there.
Yeah, exactly. This is heaven sent. Oh my gosh, I need you. So yeah, so he, of course, he wanted to see what we're about, and so he came up there, and then he just started helping, and I needed his help too. He come up there and he help out, and I got all these kids that I gotta have in line, and we're teaching them everything, and so he came to see what was going on, and then he just came to help me. I don't know if he felt sorry for me.
He probably felt the program. He probably felt,
Yeah, that's what I was just getting ready to say is, I mean, what she's doing is amazing. It goes back to that, having the positive impact on the community, and
right.
Just empowering youth to, have them strive to do better for themselves. And
how'd you get started in actually doing the programs?
So I had been working for youth for a little bit, and then I, got into my life of going to school and doing things, and then I have 3 young men myself, so making sure that they, had good manners, making sure they had etiquette, making sure that they treated me well, and trained them how to treat the ladies that will be in their lives, but also kept them in sports. I was always involved in their schooling. I always taught them too when they were at home, so they were way more advanced than other kids. When they graduated, I got them, all 3 of them graduated, and off to doing sports, and I was just very much there for them. And then when I got into, I was through the whole thing, I was always in school, working corporate jobs, doing the most, and then corporate was getting a little tired for me, so I looked into. I was out in the community helping a lot, and always, me and my sons always just helping in the community. And then, when they were, gone and out the house, it was just like, what am I going to do? I was in corporate. They were sending us to community connections and things like that. We would show up, but a lot of the executives would not show up. And so it got to a point where a community center needed us, and I took my nonprofit, Transitioning Boys into Men, which at the time was, my sons and their friends, and I would, get them all in line. And so we helped out. The lady needed a grant writer with the people at the service at the community center. So I was like, I write grants, but I don't know if this will be in your line of whatever.
Yeah.
And so, and it was. And so, I got all I got all of my group involved, the transitioning boys into men. I got them all involved in that, and then I got them jobs with the city. So yeah, so they got jobs with the city. You know, just from us being there that day, I got offered a job with the city, and then I was able to go and basically resign from corporate, and you know, I just felt better. I was so. Then I got into the National Society of Black Engineers at UNLV, and we were, you know, having our meeting about what we were going to be doing. And so I was just like, hey, you know, I didn't hear us do any volunteering. You know, nobody's going to know who we are unless we get out there and volunteer for the community.
That's right. And
provide services, you know. And so that's kind of where it started. I had a client, Gentleman by Choice. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but they're with Tyrone Thompson's, the late Assemblyman, Tyrone Thompson. He had a place called Ty's Place on Centennial. And he was like, yeah, you know, we need more for the kids. You know, we don't have too much as far as, you know, STEAM and STEM. And so I was like, well, you know, I'm in engineering now, and so, you know, I can get them to come up here. So we did a partnership. We got the STEAM program going there, and we got the robotics program going there. And then that's when I founded the Las Vegas National Society of Black Engineers Junior. And I've been teaching them STEAM and STEM, robotics. Then we step it up a notch. And so they also have they had a facility on Owens. And so I serviced that area, Centennial. And then Cambridge came into place where I was writing a grant for someone over there. Noticed the kids in the parking lot, they ain't have nothing to do. It's prostitution, drug busts, boarded up, you know, houses, the swimming pools gated off. They have nothing to do. And so I introduced them to STEAM, STEM engineering, and started doing projects with them right in the courtyard. People started coming to me and saying, hey, you know, these kids are looking for you. They want to do some more science. And so, you know, I'm just looking around, you know, so, you know, after so many times going there, you know, everything was fun and everything, but it was just like the environment. And so I was like, I need to get them somewhere where it's safe. So that's when I started to do the Cambridge. So I went to the Cambridge Recreation Center, got involved there, and then I was able to do, you know, a good program where it was like from 11 to 7, and, you know, just provided as much STEAM, STEM etiquette and robotics training as I could, and job training for them as I could. And so I've been doing this for 5 years now, so since 2019. We've been going. We went strong even through the pandemic when the kids didn't have they had nowhere to go to school. So we were like that bridge to keep them going, to keep them, you know,
learning.
Yeah, exactly.
So when it comes to, like, do you have like I know you said you were in corporate and stuff like that, but do you have a science background or
I do. So I went to school for computer science, business management, fine arts.
Okay.
And then when I came here, I was accepted into UNLV for their law program, and then I got into the engineering program for civil engineering.
Okay, covering all the bases right there.
Yeah. So I buy land and properties, and then I develop them. So having the civil engineering background, it helps with that. So I got a minor, picked up a minor in civil engineering, and so with all of those together, I just, I do my business, and I'm able to give back to the community, and I'm able to, just teach these kids all I can teach them, so that when they, get out there, it's basically to because see, my background, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, and so I've been like, I've been like to East Cleveland, like East Cleveland. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but yeah, if you look it up, it's like in one of the worst neighborhoods in America, not the world. But even though I was put in that situation, or had to be there because maybe my parents or whatever was going on with them, I still had to have tunnel vision of education.
Right.
So the schools that I went to. I've been to a public school, but I got into like a suburban school that has STEM programming, and if they didn't have that STEAM programming, then I don't know where I'd be at. Because I say STEAM because we did science, technology. I was real good with computers all the time. I was reading at 3. So I don't put it past, kids that they're very intelligent.
Yeah.
And just knowing I've been working on like Macintosh Apple since I was 7. So I knew all the programs, all the software came with it. And just learning all of that, it helped me to get out of the situations that I was in. I was a product of, I was, in the hood. And so, when I graduated was 18, I went straight to corporate. I was running corporate
trying to get up out of there.
Yeah. I was helping running corporate offices, engineering plants, making sure those are running. And then, when I was about like 23, 24, that's when I was like, you know what? If I could run people's, corporations and junior colleges and things like that, I think I'm ready to start my own business. So I would do that. I would have my own business with working. And so that's what always has worked for me, to always have my own business and doing something. And so now it's transpired into having a nonprofit also on top of it, just to, level everything out, put everything together.
See, your story is great because it's showing that like a lot of people they're not able to go the route of college. You know what I mean? I wasn't able to go the route of college, even though my parents. I mean, I lived in the suburbs. I lived up here in the north of Vegas, so I went to the military.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see any other options or any other routes, and a lot of these kids don't see these routes. But now that you're giving them this option, they could possibly, take this and go to college. Do these programs have like a? Because I know when I was in the military, a lot of the stuff transferred like credits.
So with the National Society of Black Engineers, so with the NSBE Junior program,
Mm-hmm.
so the National Society of Black Engineers, their mission is to increase the number of responsible Black engineers that impact the community, and also they excel professionally, academically, so that they can impact their community. So being as part of that, and there's like we have 500 over 500,000 members,
Mm-hmm.
and also we have a lot of corporations and connections. So this is a national and international program, with lots of opportunities and networks. And so with them, we have programs for them K through 12 that help to keep them involved in engineering and STEAM, and also to provide scholarships for them for when they go into college, because we followed them into college too. And so we help them to get through college also. And then, we have conventions, we have conferences, we have things like that. And so since now everybody wants to be inclusive, when I go to these conferences, everybody's there.
Yeah.
Apple, Macintosh,
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft, all these engineering places, all these places that, the water.
Before it was like a real small, only these certain people could get in. Now they want it to be like, oh, okay, well, we all can.
Yeah. So, and that's what they want. And so, and then you see other people who are like, oh yeah, I'm a software engineer. I work for Apple. They're Apple, Apple. I love Apple because they're down to earth. Microsoft, I like them too. I was consulting for Microsoft for a lot of my young years,
Mm-hmm.
with these corporations, because they didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to work these applications,
Right.
And here I was, I knew them like the back of my hand. So I was able to go in there and show them, and also consult with them to figure out what they needed for their business. A lot of them would be behind. So I'll go and I'll catch them up, But a lot of times I was the only one who looked like me at that executives table every time on the roll call, no matter what, where I was. I was at a junior college. I was the only one who looked like me, and sometimes, that could be a challenge, and then, with corporations, I was the only one in the engineering plants.
Yeah.
You have all these guys,
Yeah.
And they're Caucasian or Italian or whatever they are. And then here's me, so there was things that they would, someone would do to me. They would target me. But here I was, Like, I got to be there early. I got to be there extra early. I got to make sure I don't take no days off. I got to make sure that I'm doing everything far and beyond. So, because I have to represent for us. And that's just usually how I was. I was the only one that looked like me. I was the only female. I was the only one that had my melanin. And I was the only one really young. And a lot of them was just looking at me in a way where they thought I was going to take their job. And I had to always tell them, like, I'm not here to take your job. I'm just here to help you do your job better. And, I'm going to do what I have to do, what they tell me to do. And that's it. Most 9 times out of 10, I'm moving on because I'm just here to consult, get everything caught up, get y'all educated to where y'all need to be, and then I'm moving on.
Right. So when it came to the actual program and stuff like that, do you guys talk to, because I know you talking about colleges and stuff like that, do you have like a HBCU program that you guys are working with? Because I can definitely point you in the right direction.
I would appreciate that. I had, let me see, I've been to, I want to say, I've been to Washington, D.C. For HBCU, but I would like to definitely get and just have more, more HBCUs, because I feel like that's where, like, with the NSBE program, the National Society of Black Engineers, like in those colleges that are not HBCUs, that's where they get their connection at. This organization is where they get their connection to where they feel more included, because some of them, they feel alone. And so with the National Society of Black Engineers, is to pull them in and say, hey, you're not alone. Even though you might look like this at this school, but, that's what we're here for, to help bridge that gap to get you graduated. You don't have to leave. You don't have to drop out, but, we're here. So HBCUs also, I would love to be connected with those.
Okay. So, us meeting, went to BattleBots.
Yeah.
How'd the kids enjoy that?
Oh, they loved it. I mean, super excited. Like, so what I like about, okay, so how did I get into, so
go ahead.
Okay, I talked with, so being an engineer, they wanted me to talk to the CCSD teachers. And they were like fourth grade and up. So these are fourth grade teachers. They didn't know nothing about engineering. So they want to know how to keep their students engaged in engineering, with the subject in engineering, when they really don't know too much about engineering themselves. So, ironically, it was at UNLV. So I went to go talk with them, and this was the Governor Stem's, the program, the fellowship program. And so, just going to talk to the teachers and everything, I got a chance to go and take a tour with BattleBots with Amelia, and, get it going on. And I was like, oh my God, I love BattleBots. That's like my thing. So my dream was always to, teach the kids robotics and then take them to the BattleBots to bring it all together.
Right.
And I just remember, like, I was working at Bally's, when it was Bally's Horseshoe now. But I was coming out of the thing and I seen BattleBots, and I was like, okay, they have to be involved. Okay, the vision just got a little bit bigger now. Yep. I want to definitely get them involved. I want to see what they're about and everything. So this happening was like, a little bit after I even noticed it, that it was here. Right. And so when we were able to get the tour and go there, that opportunity, I was like, okay, this has to, we got to connect. So, coming there, doing it. I mean, it was so exciting for me. I think I was like the most excited one there.
Yeah, the video. Yeah. You can see it. You can see it in the video for sure.
That I'm talking about. That was the second time you seen me there.
Oh yeah.
But the first time that I went there, I just lost my head. I was just like,
Did you go with the kids the first time, or was it just you?
No, it was just me and the teachers.
Oh, okay.
So me and the CCSD teachers had went, took a tour. And so that's when I was just like, oh my God. So they were telling me how many opportunities it was. And I was just like, my program is right up the street. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so when I talked to the kids about it, they didn't even know that it was right up the street, you know, because we're like on Cambridge
Yep.
and Flamingo. And they're like on Como and Flamingo. So the fact that we were right down the street and I'm doing a robotics program and a STEAM and all this other stuff for the kids and etiquette too, because they got to behave themselves.
Yep.
I just thought it was amazing. And I was just like, and so, you know, I reached out to Tippy and I was like, hey, Tippy, I reached out to Amelia and I was like, listen, you know, it would be wonderful if when we, you know, get our awards and everything for them and we do the ending of our program for that session, I would love for them to go to BattleBots because that would just bring it all together and it will keep them interested.
Want them to come back.
Yes. And just know that this is where it's at, and you know this is fun, and you know after all of this, because you know they have to code, they have to, first of all I have to teach them about electronics, right? I have to teach them about all the vibration and sound, and I have to give them videos to look at, like you know they have a lot of Boston Dynamics videos. Those are the robotic animals dance. You know,
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Also come to the National Society of Black Engineers conventions, you know, they come there and they're ready to recruit. But, and so, you know, exposing them to this at young ages, you know, and when they, you know, get up to where they come to go to conferences, because they can come to the conferences too, being juniors, and they get into competitions too. And so to teach them all of that with the robotics and then have them go to the BattleBots, I mean, it's just like, it's everything. I want them to always be a part of the program. I want them to always be able to, when we end, to go to this BattleBots because it definitely puts it all together and it keeps their interest. I'm talking about they loved it so much. You've seen, they were all on their feet all night. Okay. And the guy with the, you know, you know, y'all don't notice, but he's 13. The one that had on the
shooting, well, not the shoot, but yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And so we do tying, you know, workshops, and you know, we get them ready, you know, for work and a job and everything. But we keep it fun for them. So, you know, he was on his feet and just having so much fun, and you know, it definitely keeps their interest. I mean, right now, them and the parents, they're like, hey, when we're going to come back?
When can we do that again?
Yeah, exactly. When are we going to, you know, get the program back going and then be able to experience that again? And I think that is just what we needed as far as, you know, I mean, I used to take them also to like the music parks and be like, well, these are the rides and this is all engineering, you know, and we're going to have fun with it. But now with the BattleBots, I think it's so much exciting because I'm so excited. I love all of the robots. You know, one of my favorite is, oh God, I can't even think of his name right now because I'm just too excited. But the one with the fire, that comes out of his mouth. Oh my God, Kraken, the Kraken. Yeah, and so Kraken is, you know, it's everything that I would want to put into a robot. And so when I'm teaching them, also I have to teach them coding. So, you know, you have to build the robot, you know, and you have to code it, you know, in a way
to make it be able to move, to make it register with the remote. That is, you know, it's a lot of stuff that go into it. I feel like we stepped away from that because in the early 2000s, when all of us was on MySpace and everything like that, we were all coders. Yeah. We all could do it. But now everything is done for you, or it's just a little bit more laid back to where it's like, oh, you don't even need to do all that. Don't do all that. Nobody cares. But it's like you just lost a skill there.
Yes.
But I feel like with this program and stuff like that, is there a way for, because it's not like school or anything. So it's not like you're going to take a test and then you advance to the next. And then it's like, how do these kids actually get recognized by these people? Is there certain things that you guys are doing with them and sending to the people, or being able to show? Because how are the kids able to show that they were doing these things, doing anything in the program?
So what I do is I do pre-assessments.
Okay.
Right. So when they come in, a lot of them don't even know what STEAM is. So I give them, you know, a sheet of paper, and you know they have to fill it out. You know, what is STEAM? You know, what does each letter stand for? And you'd be surprised on what they say. So they don't know. They don't know when they come in.
Yeah.
And so then, then that's when I start to teach them. And then it's not like, a regular classroom where it's like, okay, sit down, be quiet, and I'm going to teach. It's more of an exploratory type of thing. So we have, a setup of, the science station, technology, engineering section, the arts section, the math section. And then, in the beginning, it's like, okay, you got to know how to read, right? And so then I take them in a fun way to make sure that they know how to read. And then the ones that don't want to read, or they feel like they don't have to read, or they feel a certain way about it, I'll just keep it real with them. Like, hey,
right.
You have to know how to read, because if you don't know how to read, you won't be able to code when we get into coding, right? And also, we have age appropriate things for them to do as far as coding, because there's markers that the little robots might be able to just read, and you do a pattern, right? Mm-hmm. But, I just say, hey, the reading is important, because if you have a sign right there, you have to know how to read signs.
Right.
Right. And so if you have a sign right there that says danger, you might die, which I've been.
You got electrocuted?
I've been struck by lightning. But
you've been struck by lightning.
There was no sign for that. There was no sign for the lightning.
What can you do with that? The only sign that I had was I was in the attic. I'm from Cleveland, so they have the third floors.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that my mom and dad had a metal fan in the window, and that's where the lightning came and struck, and I was sitting right in front of a beam in the wall. But anyways, I survived that. But I've been through where I've seen signs, like I think it's in the Valley of Fire, mm-hmm. and it says danger, you might die. And so, or excessive heat or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you can see it. It could be a sign there, that says danger. Beyond this point, you could die. You want to be able to read that sign, right? And so, just kind of, telling them and working with them so that they can, get on their reading. And then after they get to a point where they can read, and, we do assessments and everything. We do midpoint assessments to make sure that they're learning everything and they're absorbing everything. Mm-hmm. And then there's, post assessments. So if they're able to read, and they're able to, their etiquettes and their behaviors are good enough to where they know how to treat the equipment, how to treat each other. I take them through, they might not know it's a test, but I take them through the test and make sure that they can pass these tests so they can get to that level to where they're at robotics. Some of them might be at that level, and they'll tell me, I'm not ready yet to go to robotics. And then, a week or so later, they'll tell me I'm ready to go into robotics, because they see their peers, or they see, the other ones going in there and excelling at it and having fun. And so we like to keep it fun for them. But yeah, we do assessments and tests to make sure that they are. And then also, second part of that is we do memberships with NSBE Junior, and then they're able to do competitions. So then we're able to go with a curriculum from them, so that we can have them up to par. So then when we compete, they'll be able to compete in that. So it might be car racing. They have so many competitions that they have that's available. So that's how we are able to display their learning. And, for the judges, they judge them, to make sure that they know everything that they need to know and compete.
With everything coming to Vegas right now, between the Sphere opening up, between the what is it called, F1, yeah, being down right by BattleBots, how do you see the expansion of your program within the next 5 years with everything going on in Vegas?
So I think that it's expanding, and it's going to expand much better. I'm working on that all the time. I'm working with, I've talked with Tick Sigabloom's office, the commissioner, mm-hmm. To make sure that we have facilities, spaces at these recreation centers, or facilities that we go to make sure that kids are in walking distance to come and get to come to us. We were just talking with Danielle Monroe Moreno, who's an assemblywoman. Hey now, and to talk with her about some things about how she can help and how we can get help, and then statewide. So as we expand and as we keep reaching out, I believe that if we just don't give up and keep reaching out and just go up under those stones. They say leave no stone unturned. I think that it's because I've been trying to build this up, and every year it gets better and better. From getting partnerships with RTC, to give us bus passes, and they've offered us buses at the time when they were in surplus. And so I think that just bringing more people together, even with BattleBots, I want to be more involved with them, or have them be more involved. Like what can we do to expand? A lot of it is the people. A lot of it is the people, the partnerships. Of course, funding, and the more that we have, the more kids we can have involved. Sometimes the ratio to a kid. Sometimes I might have 20 kids to work with, and it's maybe 2 adults or one. One has to leave at some point in time, but I'm there for them. So I think it's getting to where we have people, and we have facilities to be at. We have more children involved, more partnerships, and I think that this would in 5 years, I think it would just be massful, because we had about 20 kids at the event of the BattleBots, and we've also performed in a parade, the Martin Luther King parade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where they had their robots there, and so T-shirts, banners, and we were on the news. We were on Channel 8 News, 5 News, 3 News, and the more exposure that we can get, even being here, this is wonderful, to expand, to get those volunteers, people who want to help.
I was just about to ask you what is the criteria for volunteer work with working with you? What are you looking for in the people?
So I like some experience in something. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
Everybody don't have experience in engineering.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't say specifically engineering, but people have experience in business, fundraising, or I had a young lady who volunteered. We both volunteered at a place and we did internships at a place called Real Talk, and they talk to kids in the community to steer them away from crime, and or their probation officer has referred them to the program. So just working and with kids to keep them out of trouble, it's like, what are we going to give them? Like, you could talk to them, but what are we doing to give them tools to keep them out of trouble, to be like, nah, not for me. I'm gonna go this route, because this route is where I'm learning at, and it's fun, and I like being there.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where the line is. We're fun. We like to learn. Like the young man who was with us, he had this curly hair. I think he's about 10 years old, right? He's street. The street is already kind of pulling at him.
Yeah. And
he's independent. And so, when I had him I said, hey, well, who's your guardian? He said, my dad. I said, well, take this application home to him. And he was one of the kids that I started out with, right there on Twain in the little projects. Mm-hmm. And so, he's seen that his other, neighbors and other kids in the community, they over in the program with me. So he's like, okay.
I'll mess with it.
Right, exactly.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, she'd already came in there. We did activities together and everything, and it was fun. Okay, this is her. She's here. And so him coming there, he's independent. I don't trap him in there. He comes in there. He don't come for food. He don't be hungry. He gets gets money from his dad. And
he coming there ready to learn.
And then he's gonna have some fun. And then he'll be like, hey, can I go to the gym? And I'm like, go ahead, go to the gym. Then come back, because he's by himself anyway. But he comes back. He might go there for about 5 minutes, and he comes back because he don't want to miss what's going on. Yep. you know. And so, he's playing. So just, I mean, he's he's learning. He's not there for the food. He's not there for no handout. He's strictly there because he's learning. He's having fun doing it, and that's where he want to be. And so when I was giving him his award, it made me cry because I was just like, "But you come back. You come back because you don't have to come back." And all that goes for all the kids. They don't have to come back. They could be like, "Mom, I don't feel like going today," but they come every time, and their parents are like, "You got them. Like, they are yours." And I tell them all the time, this is not like school. You don't have to sit down and shut up now, but you do have to respect each other. You do have to respect boundaries. I am going to be testing you on things you're not going to know because you're going to be having so much fun doing it. When you eat, you're going to practice your table manners and your table etiquette. When we're playing games like, musical chairs or whatever, you're going to be doing your etiquettes to where you're not running each other, bumping each other, running over each other. We don't do that, And so when they're doing this and respect each other, even with the etiquette, with the dating etiquette, I have to teach them dating etiquette too, because I want to teach the young women how they should be treated. I want them to know how they should be treated, and I want to tell the young man this is how you should be treating your woman, specifically our women, because they have so much trouble already. They're getting it from everywhere, everybody, all this music. They're all putting it down. They're putting, they're just. It's just a lot. And if y'all not treating them right, who else gonna treat them right?
Right.
So y'all gotta treat them right. Ladies, I want y'all to know how y'all should be treated. So, I have them pulling out their chairs. For the ladies, I'm like, don't plop. Sit there, bend your knees a little bit. Okay. Don't push it in, because there have been times where they just shove it in. But, gently push the chair in. You don't have to look at her as your girlfriend. We're all together. We're all exactly. We're all together. You should want her to be treated like that. This don't have to be your girlfriend or anything like that. We're all together. We're a group. You know what I mean? We're like a little small family. And I tell them, I'm not your mother. I'm not none of the people out there who you might want to rebel against. Because sometimes, they'll want to rebel or something like that. And, I have to take them to the side and be like, what's going on with you? How you feeling? What's up? You show a form of respect. If you want to go home, that's fine. You can go home, or you can go back in there. And when I give you a command, you can say, yes, ma'am, and do it. And they do it and go back in there and give them a command. They say, yes, ma'am, and they do it. And so it lets me know that they want to do better. They like the program. They like what they're learning. And, it's all good. I want them to carry it on and stay, stay. Because we follow them till they're older, and they have their own families. We want to have these mentors and we want to have these people around. So not only are they, good people in the community, they're good, people. Either they're working or they own their own business, or but they have families. They know how to, treat their families. They know what to expect from having a family.
So what's the age? What's the age range for the program?
It varies. Let's just say that, because we've had a 3-year-old. We've had
because I was just about to ask. I got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they're ready to go.
Okay,
they're ready to go. Okay.
I understand. I know you're ready for it.
No, but they're very smart, and it's just like they get into so much stuff. Woke up this morning, my daughter had popcorn all over the house. She knows how to do certain things already. She's only 2, so I'm like, oh, she's just a busybody. She needs. Maybe, but at the same time, I feel like maybe 2 is too young. She probably ain't gonna listen.
Well, as long as they potty train, okay?
All right, we'll wait for the 2-year-old. We got a couple more months. But the 4-year-old, he potty train. He'll tell you when he need to go to the bathroom.
So we had 2 3-year-olds. Okay? So before, I'm not gonna lie, like I would say 2019 to 2022, it was like. I'm gonna say 5 and up, and then the summer of 2022. So last summer, I did a STEAM and theater program, and the group included 4-year-olds. And it was a good. 8 of them. It was a good 8 to 4 to 6-year-olds, right? And so that's when I was just like, okay, what do I do? Do I just be like, nope, not doing it. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all with that one.
Yeah.
or do I find some way to include them and take on the challenge? So I had to take on the challenge. And so the challenge was that I had all these education kits. And so, it was like, okay, word bingo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll do it with them. And then I'll take one of the 8-year-olds and say, okay, you're going to run the word bingo, and give them some responsibility to do. And then do age appropriate things with the 4-year-olds so that they don't feel excluded. And then when we got into the robotics, they start coming over there. They were interested. So they start being interested in coding. And then, some of them can read at least. And I say, okay, remember those words, the ones that, you're able to learn? Okay. So let me show you about coding. And then what I was able to do was do age appropriate coding for them. And get kits that are age appropriate for them, like the markers. They have robotics that read the markings.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of them having to read to code, they're able to make the markings. And I say, okay, draw a pattern and watch how this is how it works. And this is what they're doing. And so to me, I'm programming these kids. They don't know that, but I'm coding and I'm programming them. And they are coding and, having fun with it. But, they don't have to feel pressured to read, but they feel empowered to read so they can move to that next level. So they're actually reading while they're coding, things like that. So we just do age appropriate things with them. We don't exclude them.
Mm-hmm.
What we like is that they come over and they want to be involved. So we find out how we can involve them in a way. I've even had a point where it was a young lady, she had a speech impediment. And the other young lady, she was like that. I think they were both 8.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were playing this theater game called Telephone. And so you got to say something in each other's ear,
Got to make sure it's the same all the way to the end.
Exactly. And so the girl goes.
Couldn't get it out.
The girl goes. The one lady, not the one that had the speech impediment, right? The other one, she goes, "It ain't never gonna be the way it's supposed to be because she got a speech impediment." And
y'all didn't even start the game yet.
We just started it, but
she just knew. She was just like, "Oh, I already know once it gets started."
She was like, "It ain't never gonna be what it's supposed to be because she got a speech impediment." And I was like,
"Kids tell the truth.
No filter.
Right.
No, none.
Exactly. That's why I love kids, right? And so I was like, okay, you have enlightened me, but I'm also impressed that you said speech impediment. Okay? I'm impressed about that. I said, but that's okay because we're going to work through this, right? And so I had, in one of my education kits, I have sign language flashcards. And my dad, he was in communications. And so I was in communications on the side. Like, he had these things. It was these reels. It was like was it the first motion picture? I don't know. But how they have these pictures, you got to keep reeling it.
Mm-hmm. And so, then the thing will move?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And so that was me. This was me, this little nerd of a nerd. And, you turn lights off and you reel it, and then there's sign language. So I learned all the sign language. And so I said, so what we're going to do is we're going to learn sign language. She's going to learn sign language too. So if you don't understand what she's saying, then we can do sign language. And that's how we all going to learn.
Ain't no speech impediment in sign language.
That part. You can't keep stuttering and all that other stuff.
Just imagine.
Okay.
Somebody doing sign language and they're stuttering through it.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Unless you got the shakes, you know what I mean? But, and that helped, to a point where I think I was wrong. I was saying purple. I wanted to say purple, but this is pink. This is pink. And so they said, no. This is pink. And I said, oh, yeah. But the simple fact that they were able to learn sign language, within, 4 or 5 weeks. And then they were, correcting me, and it made that group much better. Um, they were, and I feel like, they work through it. I still work with them. I still work with them. I still work with this young lady, who has her speech problem, but she's getting better and better. But, I make it to where there's no barriers, right? So she felt that was a barrier. She felt that was an issue. So it's like, okay, well, let's resolve that issue. Y'all learn sign language and y'all be learning something else. Y'all know how to communicate effectively now. And, just letting her know, hey, don't put somebody up on front, what I'm saying, in front of everybody. That's embarrassing for her. So they all have to learn things. And now, I feel like I feel like they're better, because I've been working with them for a good year now, but, just in certain situations. So, yeah, it gets better.
You ever said nothing? What do you want to see from the program, from what's going on? Because I know you've been helping, and it seems like this is something that you yourself are passionate about as well.
Yeah. So what I'd like to see, and it's already happening, is the growth and just how it's evolved. Just in the amount of time that I've been associated with her and the program. You were talking about it. With everything that's now coming to Vegas, there's so many more opportunities for partnerships, for organizations to get involved.
Yep.
And just it'd be more stable, right? And I think right now that's kind of where we are, is we're looking for that stability. So I kind of used the term with the assemblywoman yesterday that it feels almost nomadic, because we're trying to go to different places within the valley to provide the service, but there has to be stability, because you don't want to lose the captive audience that you already have with the kids that we've already helped.
Right.
You don't want it to be a one and done situation. You want to be able to have that grounding to where you're there with them and they come back, and like she said, you stick with them through their development. And the empowerment aspect of it is just, it's amazing, because you're helping kids who may not have that empowerment anywhere else. They're constantly told that because you are here, whether it's socioeconomic, whether it's ethnic, that you're not able to accomplish what other people are able to accomplish because you're coming at it from a disadvantage. Right. And that's completely untrue. So when they feel that empowerment, whether or not they're able to take it with them, they're always going to have that to look back on, regardless of where they end up, and say, well, there was this time where, I'll never forget Miss Militia. She told me I could. And that aha moment might be the moment that they have that puts them on a trajectory to succeed. So
I want to thank you guys both for coming. So much knowledge that these kids are going to be getting, and definitely I'm going to be talking to mine about trying to get into some programs like this. There's a lot of kids that need some stability, that need some type of
outlet.
Yeah, to get away from all of the crap that's happening in the world right now. So I want to thank you guys for what you guys are doing. It's amazing. I'm gonna have some information for you after this. I want to get some information too, because this is y'all got some things that I could possibly use as well. So
we'll be happy to help.
If you could just tell the people where they can find you, tell volunteers how they can help, how they can sign up, all that good stuff.
All right. So you guys can go to our website, transitioningboysintomen.org. Our number is 702-502-0363. So when you go to our website, there'll also be a QR code. You can scan it right there. You can register, do a pre-registration. Also, we have blogs to where our current programs are, our future programs, where they will be at, and just some of the things that we've been doing. And also, I'm a comedian out here in Vegas.
Yep.
Yeah, they call me Miss Shomo. And then theater is my background too. So I went to school for fine arts as far as theater, and so that's one of the things that I do with the kids is I have them do outlets, urban issues, and things like that with theater so they can express themselves. But not only will I teach them the theater etiquette, and I also let them be comedians too. That they love that. But I teach them the tech side. So I have a mic and microphones, doing sound, doing lighting in that tech lab, because I want them to see that, because we don't have a lot of us out there. I work with the unions and everything like that. So the stage and production unions, the culinary union, the bartender union, the engineering union, all those unions, they're going to be looking for these kids. Mm-hmm. And I want to make sure that they're able and they're ready. So when that call comes, or when they go in there and they take that apprenticeship, they know what they're doing. And so I think that's a very good aspect. So yeah, so I have an Instagram too. It's Juicy Moosey Shomo at a comedian, Juicy Moosey Shomo. And then, always Google, but yeah, transitioningboysintomen.org, or y'all can give us a call, and that's where you'll find us at. So we're always looking for volunteers, always looking for help, always looking for partnerships. So please help us out, because you have fun and you'll be learning some stuff yourself, and you make a great positive impact on these kids in the community. So check us out.
You can find me you can go to Leading Edge is the company that I work for. That's the fundraising company that I'm a consultant with. So it's leadingedge.com, leadingedgefundraising.com. And then it's basically, it's kind of word of mouth, I'm an independent contractor, so I'm here to help any organization I can raise money.
Yeah. And I just want to, go back to where he came. Not only did he volunteer, but he came and he got us a fundraiser together ASAP. It was successful as it could be. What we had, and I'm very appreciative of that. And go bring my board member. Because just the time that he put in, and also the work that he's done is just amazing. How it brings everything together, and it helps. So thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. Right. Leading Edge.
Well, I want to thank you guys for coming through.
Yep, and I want to thank BattleBots too for having that experience. We would like to do much more. So yeah.
Thanks, Tippy. Thanks, Greg.
Yep, thanks Tippy. Trey. Appreciate you, Amelia, Greg, all you guys. You guys are amazing.
And that was the episode. Yep. We are out. Get out of there.